Today we are going to be talking about something you guys have requested from me over the last month, I want to say, and that is a video all about how I take care of my hair and what I've been doing lately. I recently did a get ready with me with this look that has been my tried and true for quite some time, and it has been requested to do a skincare updated video that I will be doing coming up soon as well. I, over the last few years, have really kind of, I think, come into my own with finding what works for me. And that is across the board with skincare, with hair care, with makeup, with my clothing. The clothing, I would say, is the one that I still play with a little bit more. But once I found products that have worked for me consistently, I've been pretty much sticking with them, and I'm finding I'm getting the best results that way. So you guys have been asking what I have been doing different. I would say this time last year, I made the decision to let my hair kind of grow in, get on a healthy journey. I had cut it fairly short when everybody was wearing more of a bob for a while there. I want to say it was about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. And I had cut my hair. Actually, it was 2 winters ago. I have had my hair every length from right about the middle of my back, actually lower than the middle of my back, to kind of like chest height, to the length it's at now, and to a little bit shorter. And I have found with me, the really long hair kind of weighed me down, and the really short hair was just a pain to keep up with because I had it right above my shoulders, and as soon as it hit my shoulders, it started going all crazy. And it just needed to be cut consistently and consistently. And so I have been kind of using the same products and doing the same things since then. Now, the first thing I do want to mention is I take a Nutrafol hair supplement every single night. And I would say I've been doing that a little bit over a year. So right about when I decided to kind of really focus on my hair's health and getting it in the best shape it could be. And so I started taking Nutrafol. Now, the one thing they don't tell you about Nutrafol is it is 4 pills every single day. And you have to be consistent with it for it to be able to work. So those are 2 key things that if you're considering it, just keep in mind. I did do, I guess it was, what is that, 3, 6, 9, like almost 6 months consistently of their traditional Nutrafol, and then I realized they had one for, I think it's like over 40 or over 50 or something like that, and I switched to that, I want to say 2 months ago, and I have been using it consistently. I will say I have gotten a lot of kind of, I don't know if I can see these little pieces, these have grown in over the last year, so those weren't there. And so I've gotten new growth. I've gotten some up at my roots. I don't know if you'll even be able to tell that. I also have stopped coloring my roots. I keep my highlights refreshed once, maybe twice a year. Other than that, I just use a toner. Now I will say, I am blessed with the fact that I have a few grays. I don't know if you can see them. They're right in through here. There's only about a little patch of them. So I am able with the highlights to not worry about them. They just kind of blend into those highlights. But my key thing with that is not coloring my roots, I think has also made a big difference. So that's going to be something you have to take into account with your hair. If you have a lot of grays, if you're trying to cover gray, you're going to probably have to do more at your roots than I'm having to do. I used to do a root smudge, and I kind of found that made my hair more kind of brassy and red because my hair, when I get color on it, pulls brassy. Even my highlights, that's why I go for a toner more frequently, because I do curl my hair, I do use heat on my hair, and when you want a more cool tone blonde, if you are using heat on your hair, that heat makes those blonde and that toner go away faster and brings in more brassiness. The heat causes more brassiness. So that's another thing to take into account. I am aware of that. So I do go in for a toner. I think I go every 6 to 8 weeks for a toner, and every 3rd time to 4th time, I do highlights. In the summertime, I bring more of that, money piece in through here. In the winter, I don't generally have that. I do ask for super, super, super fine highlights. I don't know if you can tell. I don't like a real, like what you're seeing here in the front. I do like it in the front, but through the rest of my hair, I don't like a really, really thick highlight. I ask for very, very, very thin highlights. I also ask for them to start down a little bit further. I don't ever want them all the way up to my roots, except for these pieces here in the front. So that's something to take into account as well. So keeping that in mind, I am, with the exception of the highlights, not doing a lot of coloring on my hair. So that is something that will always be helpful for me with the process of growing my hair and getting my hair healthy. And when I say growing it in, I'm not looking to grow it all the way down to the middle of my back again like I used to have it. I am just looking to get it healthy. I think I'm gonna stop right below my collarbone. It's kind of at my collarbone now, so just a little bit. Maybe I'd do a couple inches more. We'll see, I'll play with it as it goes. Now let's get into my typical week. I'm gonna show you bits and pieces of how I do this throughout a week as well. Not gonna show you shampooing my hair. We all know how that goes and how to do that. But I am going to talk you through a typical week of what I do, how I take care of my hair, and how I'm kind of getting my hair in the best shape it can be. So typically I wash my hair about twice a week. Generally, it's usually on a Thursday or Friday night, and then again, usually on a Monday or a Tuesday. So generally I do anywhere from 3 to 4 days in between. I can go as long as 5 or 6. I just choose not to because I do need to kind of invigorate my scalp, and that's a lot of what I'm going to talk about here and some things I've done to change that. By not having as much product buildup and by really having your scalp in the best shape you can is a key part of getting your hair as healthy as you can. And I do want to mention before I get too far into this video is I have fine hair, but I have a lot of it, and I have very straight hair. I have poker straight. I could not dry it at all. I could go to bed on it. I wake up, it is perfectly straight. I mean, the ends aren't turned under and all of that, but my hair is straight. I did have an area that was about this big for a while, right at the back of my head after I had MJ, and it had like a wave to it that I would have to like straighten out or dry out if I let it dry naturally. But that area has gone away. MJ's now 13. I don't know if that has to do with the weight of my hair or if that has more to do with just time. That kind of went away. So I wanted to make sure that you are aware of these parts with my hair. So let's start with a typical Monday or Tuesday evening, which is generally when I wash my hair for the first time. I personally wash my hair at night because I have chosen to let my hair air dry as much as I possibly can. Now there are times that I do dry my hair. If I do dry my hair, I tend to dry my hair with my Dyson. It's the Air Wrap, and I use the like light hair dryer. It's not a true hair dryer one. And then I use the round brush to brush it out. But I would say that is really only when I am in a pinch or I've washed it in the morning and I have to go do something. So typically at night, I wash my hair. I'm gonna walk you through that process. The first thing I do when I wash my hair on a Monday night is I use a medicated shampoo that I get from my dermatologist. So be aware with this part when I'm talking about this. This is something you either would need to talk to your dermatologist about, or I will give you a suggestion of something I have used in the past as well, and I still use to this day in a bit. And I don't know how to say it. It's like, starts with a key, Ketoconazole, not even sure. It is red in color. It comes in a small bottle. It does not take much of this. However, what I do when I get in the shower is I really saturate my hair really good. And then I go through and really just scrub it in using my nails. And I leave this on for 5 minutes. Now it lathers up really good and it sits on the scalp, and you don't need it on your ends. I really just concentrate it up on my scalp all around, even underneath at the back, and I let that sit. And what that's doing is really removing any product buildup. It's really invigorating my scalp. It is made to kind of, get rid of any product buildup and to help with any dry, flaky, itchy scalps. So using this really, really helps to just get rid of any of that buildup. Now, if you do not have that available to you, you can't get a hold of it, there are a lot of really good clarifying shampoos out there. There's actually one, it's an apple cider one. I've tried that one before I got this. I really like that. I can link that down below. But another great option that I've used is the Monat IR Clinical. It is their thickening shampoo. However, it is kind of like a peppermint scent. Do you guys remember back in the day, Paul Mitchell, I think it was tea tree shampoo. Is that even still around? That was a really great one too. But you want to use, this is a great option, just something that is really good for your scalp. It is something that is good for removing product buildup, and you really want to let that sit on there for a while. These, I believe, say 2 to 3 minutes, but this one my doctor has told me to use for 5 minutes. So I let that sit for the 5 minutes. I rinse that out. And then after I've rinsed that out, I go in for a second shampoo. Now I will say some of the times I use the Monat Violet Lights, which is their purple shampoo, or I use that IR Clinical that I was talking about. This takes the tiniest amount after I've used this product here. This just removes everything so that as soon as I put a little bit of this on, it suds up like crazy. And then I leave one of these on, usually about 2 to 3 minutes, and I let that again work with kind of reducing any brassiness with this one. This one just kind of really cleans the hair, and I use this more on the ends, bringing it all the way through versus just at my roots. Then I move on to conditioner, and I typically use the Monat IR Clinical Thickening Conditioner as well. I love, love, love this conditioner. It is so good. It is so nice. Doesn't leave my hair feeling heavy. It leaves it very light, very easy to work with. It takes the smallest amount and really gets out. My hair tangles very easily because it is so fine. And so it really gets rid of any tangles and helps work through all of the hairs. Now, if I am feeling like my hair is kind of losing its shine or feeling a little dull or that purple shampoo isn't cutting it, I also use this product from DP Hue called a Glossy Glaze in the color Cool Blonde. If you are not a color person or don't need the color, they also have this in clear. I put this on my hair. I think it says 2 to 3 minutes if I remember right. And I generally leave this on for about 3 or 4 minutes. Typically I go a little bit longer. Leave this on. My hair feels like I just left the salon with a toner. It is so nice and so good. It actually has a little bit of that scent to it, you know what I mean? Like when you get a toner on your hair. It just, these two, I use this and then this sometimes. I use one or the other. It just kind of depends on what my hair needs at the moment. Now, as I mentioned, my hair tangles very easily. So when I get out of the shower, I start right away with this, and it is the Kerastase. It is the Beautifying, Detangling, Blow Dry Mist. This is what I put on my hair right away, and I just comb through it. It gets rid of every single tangle that is left after I have towel dried my hair. I also use the Divi Scalp Serum. I use this every single time as soon as I get out of the shower. Again, with that detangler, I put this on. It is a dropper. You simply just, I'm gonna get it all out of there so I don't get it. You just run it right through. I just put it through and kind of go like this and just squeeze it as I go and really get it at my root line. And then I kind of really just use my nails and work that in. As I am doing these things, I use a wet brush, a Tangle Teaser wet brush, whatever these are called, to really comb all of this through. I usually just lift my hair up and start at the bottom and work my way through to get rid of any tangles. After I put those two products on, I go in with this, and it is from Kerastase as well. It is the Strength and Thickening Boosting Spray. This gives me a little bit of volume, and it really helps to strengthen the ends of my hair more so than at the root. And I really, really like this for this. I feel like my ends feel a little bit healthier and a little bit better. Now, after I'm done with this, I will say I sometimes use this. Sometimes if I feel like I really need volume to my hair or I'm going somewhere, I would say every so often. It's more when I have something going on and I know for the weekend I really want to like hold volume to my hair. I don't have it in today. I do love the Orbe Maximista thickening spray. Now I will say the only key thing with this, it doesn't look like it, but it feels like it. So this is interesting, is I feel like my hair feels a little bit drier when I use this. So just keep that part in mind. So it depends on what look I'm going for and what feel I'm going for. If I want my hair to feel softer, I use this one. If I really want that volume and really like full thick hair, I use this one. Now on the days that I use this, if I am letting my hair air dry and I'm not sure if I'm gonna curl it right away, I do use the Divi Air Dry Cream. It has a little bit of that peppermint scent to it. I actually used it, let's see here, when did I wash my hair? Today is Tuesday, I washed my hair Sunday. So I use that afterwards and let my hair air dry overnight. I usually wash my hair, I do wanna mention this too, I don't go straight to bed. I usually wash my hair and then we watch TV and it kind of starts to dry a little bit. So I'm not going to bed with my hair soaking wet. So just keep that in mind. But I do use this. I really, really like this. I've tried a couple air dry creams and this is by far the best one I've tried. So I typically then let it dry as I'm sleeping overnight. When I wake up in the morning, I do feel like it's a little flat and a little lackluster. And so with that, I will say this next item, I am obsessed with this thing and I don't know how someone came up with this, but it is genius and I am obsessed with it. So my hair feels a little flat, feels a little lackluster, right? I haven't done anything to it yet, but I get up and I brush my hair and I use this brush from a brand called Veos. And this brush is crazy. If you guys have ever heard of the Mason Pearson brush, it's like a $300 brush that people go goo goo gaga over. They sell it at Nordstrom. When they had a beauty sale a while ago, I picked up the travel size one. I think it was $150. It was this big. And I was like, as soon as it came in, I was like, I can't do that. And I sent it back. But then I found this one. And I will say, I tried a couple on Amazon first. Not the same. When I went to the Bahamas, this is kind of a funny story. So this is a dual bristle brush. So it has these longer bristles to it. I'll try and put a picture in here so you can see it a little bit better, but has these longer, tall bristles and then these shorter boar's head bristle brushes. This is made of wood. It is absolutely beautiful. And the key with this, similar to that Mason Pearson brush, is the longer ones are used to really get at your scalp and invigorate your scalp and kind of redistribute any oils to the ends so that you don't need as much dry shampoo. Yes, I just said you don't need as much dry shampoo. This gives your hair volume. It is insane. So what I do with this, you know what? I'm gonna show you on one side of my head. I take this and I brush and I go in like little circles and then brush it out. Can you already see? Look at the volume in this. It is crazy. It has made my scalp so good, so nice. Like, I mean, look at this. That's crazy. Craziness. I'm gonna try and flatten it back down. It's so good and it's not like frizzy. It's so insane. It feels so good. But when I wake up in the morning, I brush my hair out with this and I invigorate my scalp and it gives me that like new life to my hair. It is crazy. I use this every single morning and do that. And I just work it in just like you just saw in these little circular motions and then go down. It is so good. It doesn't pull the curl out. It doesn't make it crazy. It is unbelievable. No frizziness, no flyaways. It is so good. I will say this, my little like enjoyment too, is it comes with this cool little comb. And every time after you use it, you kind of brush out the hairs. I mean, you don't have to do it every time, but I'm obsessed with doing that. It's like this little fun thing. I don't know. It's just, it's so satisfying to see if I've lost any hair or what. It is just, I love that. So this brush is absolutely amazing. I actually went online and I had gotten one, fell in love with it, and I was like, I need more of these. I have one upstairs where I do my skincare. I have one downstairs where I do my hair, typically if I'm curling it. I got 2 more for the Cape House, and I got 1 for in my Jeep. And so I had the one, had tried it, fell in love with it. Then they gave me a discount code, and I went online. I didn't even use my own discount code because I went online and I saw a deal they had going on. I don't know if they still had it, but it was like, they're typically, I think the brush is typically $99 to give you an idea, compared to the Mason Pearson, which is $300. They had it marked down. I think I have a 20% off code, and it was $59. And then they had a deal that was like buy 2, get 1 free. And then one better, it was like, I forget what the deal was, but it was like, I got 4 of them for $99. The ones I bought on Amazon that melted, I went to the Bahamas, and the plastic bristles, when I was using them with a dryer, and I've tried this with this one and it doesn't happen, the bristles melted. God only knows. So I did the 4 for $99, and I'm obsessed with them. I don't ever want to be without this brush. It is insane how good it is. So this has helped to reinvigorate my scalp, again, redistribute those oils, and it has reduced how much I use a dry shampoo. So if you are not a dry shampoo lover, give this a try. Or if you're just like, I'm using way too much dry shampoo and it gets costly to use a lot of dry shampoo, because that was me, try this. It is a game changer. Absolutely insane. So I get up in the morning, I brush through my hair with this brush, and then I kind of just get ready. And sometimes I do my hair in the morning, sometimes I don't. The first day, I typically either will just do, what is that called? I have it, it's called a Bondi brush. It's downstairs. Darn, I should have brought it up. I'll put a picture in here and tell you the name. It's like the Bondi Boost brush. It's like a heated, it's kind of like the Dyson Airwrap, the round brush, but it doesn't blow air. It has like a heated coil with aloe brushes, and it really just smooths out my ends. It makes my hair pretty and shiny, and I really like using that first day. I do want to mention too, I used to, before I had this brush, I used to take that Tangle teaser brush and the It's a 10 shine spray, spray it on my brush and brush my hair out every morning. That was what I used to kind of keep the shine in my hair, but then also get any tangles out, and I put dry shampoo in. And I used to do that every single morning. So by using this brush, I am saving on not just the dry shampoo, but also on the shine spray I was using, because I don't feel like I need that as much either. So at night, do the same thing every single night, and that is I take that Divi scalp serum. Again, I run it in lines all the way around my hair, around my hairline, and then at night, I take that Veos brush. I do that same process where I do that round and brush, and that works this into my roots super, super good. And this also is invigorating my scalp again. And any oils that have built up throughout the day, it's really working them down and throughout my hair rather than leaving them concentrated up at my roots. I have become obsessed with doing this at night. It just feels so good. It is just such a great feeling. It took a little bit to get used to, but now I'm obsessed with that feeling. So then I generally go to sleep, wake up the next morning. The next morning I do the same thing with my Veos brush. And then typically on day 2, I either curl my hair like what you're seeing. Sometimes I use my Dyson Airwrap. Sometimes I use hot rollers. It really depends on the mood that I'm in, where I'm parting my hair, and I let that go. Then that next night, I repeat the same process with the Divi scalp serum and the brush. So now I wake up the next day, we're on to day 3 hair. Day 3, sometimes I feel like I need a little bit of dry shampoo, but it really kind of depends. Sometimes I've been able to get past that. Now here's where sometimes on day 3, I will wash my hair that night. Sometimes it's on day 4. Then whichever day I decide to wash my hair again, I wash my hair at night, and I do change a few things up just slightly. Now, when I do my second wash of the week, I do use something from Kerastase. It is called Decalcifying System Reparative Pre-Shampoo Treatment. So maybe, I didn't even think of this. You could use this instead of that prescription that I have. So what you do is you wet your hair and you put this on your hair. I primarily put it at my ends and work my way up to the scalp. You could do it the other way around, but this is great even for your ends. You let this sit on for 5 minutes. Wow, you know what's funny? As I'm saying these things, I'm really realizing how similar this is to that prescription shampoo. So that's good to know. You can buy this at Sephora. I don't know if Nordstrom has that. I think I've been getting it at Sephora, but it is so good. It leaves my hair feeling so silky smooth and just absolutely amazing. So you put this on for the 5 minutes. You do not rinse it out. You then take your shampoo, which is when I every single time use the IR Clinical. You need the smallest amount. You then lather it in with that Kerastase. And then I usually let it sit on for 2 minutes. Now I did try this with my prescription shampoo and I didn't really notice anything crazy. So I've used this with it when I use the Kerastase. You let it sit on for a minute or two, rinse it off, do your conditioner, and then kind of move on with the rest of the steps I talked about. Kind of a rinse, repeat, cycle that I've gotten into. Now I will say about once a month, do also use the K18 leave-in molecular repair hair mask. I only need 3 pumps to do all of my hair. I probably now feel like I can go down to 2 after using that brush because more of my natural oils are in my hair. But I use this about once a month. This really, again, also hydrates my hair and makes my hair feel so good. I use those same products I talked about previously that I use for styling afterwards. I am not a big hairspray person. I am not a texture spray person. I just kind of like to let my hair short of the products I'm putting on it right when I'm washing my hair. And it used to be dry shampoo, now this brush. I've limited the styling products I use on a daily basis with actually styling my hair. Now I will say that usually when I'm using heat on my hair, I do use, and again it is downstairs, I should have brought it up. I use the Bondi Boost, that curling brush I talked about. I use their heat protectant spray because it has aloe in it. It is so good. My hair feels shiny. It doesn't feel dried out from the heat protectant. I love that. I do use that when I am curling my hair. I used it today. Sometimes after I've curled my hair and I've brushed it out, I do use my Rejuvenique oil. Again, before I started using this Veos brush, I used to every single night before I went to bed use the Rejuvenique oil on my ends. I don't feel like I need that as much because this brush is bringing the natural oils all the way down through my hair, which is actually better for my hair than using a product that isn't naturally derived from my hair. So I pretty much do the same thing here in the mornings and the evenings. The only difference being on the last day before I am going to wash my hair again. So typically this is Monday day or Tuesday day, depending on when I'm washing my hair. We're kind of going full circle here. So what I tend to do on the last day before I wash my hair for the first wash, right, of the week, is I tend to wear my hair kind of in a slicked back lower bun. And what I do is I actually, for a full day, do one of 3 different products. So when I'm gonna pull my hair back into a slicked bun, I use these different products, and each week it's different. It just depends on what I feel like I need for my hair. The first one is from Monade, and it's the Charcoal Jelly Hair Mask. Now this one I will say is good when my hair feels like it doesn't just need conditioner to it. It really, that charcoal in it kind of really gets rid of any product buildup on the ends. And as I put this on, I work it through my hair, and I do use this brush because it gets my hair flat to my head, and I really pull it back into that slicked back bun lower at the base of my neck, and I leave it on for the whole day. But that's kind of the look I go with. Now, if I feel like my hair needs more hydration and really needs that extra conditioner, I use the Colleen Rothschild Quench and Shine Restorative Mask. And every once in a while, when I feel like my hair doesn't need a real deep condition, but it just needs something to help the ends. I do use Monate Rejuvenate oil, and I work this all the way through my hair, again, brushing my hair back into that slicked back bun. And then I'm back at the beginning of the week. Now, I do want to say one last thing before I finish off this video is an item that I found from Divi. This is crazy, guys. So as I mentioned, I have highlights throughout my hair, and in the summer I have this more money piece right through here. I don't even know what it's called, but it's basically, this is the blonde version, which does not look like it's blonde. It has a little brush on the end, and you just tap it on there, and I'm not gonna do this on camera because I can't see what I'm doing and I'd end up in the weird spot. This makes it look like your highlight is back down to your roots. They have darker colors if you have grays you're trying to cover, anything like that, but this is crazy how good it is, and it has saved me. Now that my hair has that more money piece to it for the summer, I will be using this non-stop when I have my hair down and really just want that to look like the highlight goes all the way to the root. So that's it. That is my hair care routine as of right now, what I have been doing. I have been doing this consistently, I would say, for a good solid year. I would say the brush came into effect about 2 months ago, and I will never go back. If you only pick up one product I talk about, oh my gosh, you have to try this. It works for every hair type. It is just a godsend. I love this thing so much. So if you have any questions about what I talked about here, if there's a product that you need more information about, please let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed this and have a great weekend.